Look at John's socks.
What do you got on there, Johnny?
I have Wolverine socks today.
Nice. And the headset. You get laid a lot, don't you, with that outfit?
Boy. Oh, God.
So this is where we have fun with everybody at our expense and show you a little behind the scenes stuff.
Next one. Let's go to number 1.
Having an extra bed. I'm not kidding, because I hate.
You don't like
Guys,
the
the clip.
I got the easiest job here. I just be myself and walk up and down an alley. John's got to schlep a corpse up and down it. I just walk up and down the freaking alley. Yeah, so my biggest empathy I have for anybody on this crew, wherever it is John with the Steadicam. In Augsburg, there was one we totally found it by accident, was that stairs where John had to walk down backwards. Backwards with the 70 to 100-pound Steadicam, going backwards, negotiating while looking at the monitor, holding the shot, and that was 3 or 4 flights of pretty intense stairs.
Yeah, that was a good quad day.
Well, Icaro scouts the most difficult, strenuous locations.
Oh, there's a hill. Let's do Steadicam.
For John to shoot the Steadicam.
You always warn John, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the best stuff, you know? So it's not pleasure of his misery, it's the pleasure of the misery that brings us the good stuff, you know?
John, how long have you been shooting Steadicam or operating a Steadicam?
Almost 10 years.
Wow.
And you're operating that. I mean, I don't want it to be lost on the viewer, but you're operating that while you're holding a steady shot, right? And you've got somebody running focus for you, but you're making the calls on where you move with your subject, and you're almost always walking backwards.
The walking backwards thing is something that we do, which was one of the things walking through Kuga that we had to plan out, because there's things poking out of these alleyways and things. We had a long walk and talk, as I recall.
Oh, that's right. That was a really long walk.
Usually we try to walk through it once, so at least we know, okay, there's a nail here and there's a bear trap over there, but sometimes we don't have time, and it gets really precarious. But it's fun. It's definitely fun.
Number 11, because this is a season about robots.
So I dig that one, especially because it just shows the diversity of what Icky and his team catch, right? Before I got involved in this project, I never really appreciated how much time, effort, and work goes into dealing with some of these things.
I had never seen a robot before. So for me, seeing all the robots, the movement, the fact that you could see how they actually help in the medical world, it kind of blew my mind. Because for me, this shoot was about being introduced to real robots.
Yeah, and not the sci-fi kind like the Ex Machina or the Terminator type, right?
When we were shooting in Kuka, they look like birds. They're like little birds picking up things, and you see it in time lapse. Like they go down and peck and then come up and move stuff, and it was just really cool to see them in action.
What was it like designing the shoot for those, Ick?
We want to capture the scale from the small one to the bigger one. Just trying to figure out a way to do that, so people understand, like, hey, there's one that's massive, there's another one that can literally fit in your kitchen,
I was waiting for R2-D2 to come out, but instead I got the Kuka arm.
The Kuka arm.
The Kuka arm.
We get the Kuka arm in more ways than one. So, I mean, Kuka was an incredible host to us, no doubt about it. And that's the line that we have to dance around with True Future, right? So we're featuring content that is like super cutting edge on tech. And then also True Future is exploring the people, places, things, and social issues going on. And sometimes we're describing those in the native environment that the company is in. And that can sometimes be off-putting or misinterpreted. So we did run into that with this shoot. This was the very first season we ran into that. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's something we had to learn how to navigate. But again, fabulous hosts, fabulous opening the doors to us that they've never done before. I'm just going with the flow here. I'm going cinema verte.
Well, that's kind of what Cinema Verte is. Okay, let's go to number 3.
We're doing a time lapse with the robot from Neosis. So, gonna watch the sunrise come up over the robot, and it should look pretty cool.
Is that Eric?
Yep.
He's a stud. Yeah, that's the thing that you guys have ruined television, movies for me, everything. I no longer look at it like a consumer. I now see what goes into this, the magic of making 2 minutes of a robot like Yomi look amazing. So to make that shot happen for the layperson, what tell me what that meant.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We never scout that location. We have some devices that we can track the sun and see where the sun's coming out and kind of predict what's going to happen, you know.
I think he set up lights. He set up these pink lights there. Then the sun started coming in a different direction. Then he's moving lights, and we already started a time lapse, so he has to restart a time lapse. And then Eric showed, we meet Eric, it's pitch black at 3:30 in the morning. The CEO is, Eric's the
Yeah,
CEO.
that's one of the best things, yeah.
Right.
We're driving down the street in the pitch black in the middle of Wynwood, and all of a sudden this guy, you just see a little light coming down, and Eric's on his electric scooter. One of the heads of,
Yeah.
A 6'2" Belgian.
yeah, just driving, pulls up in his scooter, and we're like getting gear out of the car. We're like,
Who's
did you
there?
ride your scooter here,
Yeah.
like to do this?
So, you know, to capture what would be like, that's a really nice robot moving along, it's really amazing. That's one of the things that Dragonfly does really well is you can't unsee what you've seen
Yeah.
with what your team does. I mean, nobody shoots tech like the Dragonfly team. And that's not a commercial, and it is. Because forever, that tech has been caught in a very vanilla, conventional corporate way. And one of the things about True Future is that we show the elegance, the brutal elegance, the sexy sort of luxury of med tech that nobody has ever shown that way before.
Are you eating?
No?
Number 9.
This is not 100% true for you. Of course, you are allowed to film in those locations which we scouted on Monday, but this means no private cameras, no cell phones, etc. So please don't take any photos or videos with private cell phones or cameras.
Is that Axel?
No, that's the other guy.
Oh, that's
There's
your guy.
Axel.
Oh, you guys let Axel shoulder up? Nice.
So basically, we broke every single rule Kuka gave us 10 times over. 10 times over the place. We could not follow one rule. Listen, production crews can't.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah.
We're trying to just get our shit done. They were so happy when we were out of there.
You know what, though? I mean,
They were so nice.
I don't want that to be lost. So, yeah,
They were so
very accommodating.
nice. Sebastian.
all of them were, you know.
Yeah, they were lovely people.
And they did something that they had never done before, allowing full access. We didn't have many restrictions on us on what we could ask and dig into, which respectfully, I got to give them huge props for.
No, they were great.
Yeah.
We have trouble coloring in the line. But my favorite thing was our second camera operator, who's not here, Zach. But we pissed them off for a day and a half. They were ready for us to go. They have this really nice lobby. It's like the Google lobby, where
It's an atrium. It's not even a lobby.
it's a beautiful space.
All glass.
There's a coffee shop in there, and there's people, there's patrons in there. And we're setting up a shot, and it takes a while sometimes. And so our second camera operator had nothing to do at that for 5 minutes. Out of the corner of my eye, I see him starting to do yoga. 2 minutes go by, he's still doing yoga. And our handler comes up to us and was like, "Can you please make sure that guy is not doing yoga in our lobby? Because that's no good." And I was like, I fucking lost my mind because I saw it and I knew it. So I was like, "Fucking Zach, get the f- off the ground." And he looks at me, he's like, "What's the problem?" Let's go to number 6.
One of our standard working horses of the Quantic series, where we're putting here its maximum payload to the robot. You see the 210 kilograms.
And it almost looks like a gymnasium, right? You've got the weights on the rack, 110 kilograms, 270 kilograms. You got the weights over there.
Want to check?
I trained this morning, I'm good. Yeah, this is just amazing. And I love your KUKA gymnasium. Thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that test facility was very cool. Again, me being an engineer geek, that was super cool. And that was the closest to a Transformer feel that I had in any of the shoots, right? That was the very first potentially menacing robot. There were no other menacing robots, whether it was the dental robot or whether it was some of the other surgical robots that we did, Corindus or even the KUKA. But that one there was like, okay, that potentially could be coming down the street like a T-Rex. That's what I thought of, like a T-Rex when I saw that.
Yeah, that's when sci-fi came alive.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, we're all going down.
Yeah.
That's it. It was whipping around that 110 kilogram, which is 200-pound weight. I had like somebody in its mouth, like from Jurassic Park, and whipping the guy around. Ah. That was just like a T-Rex for me, that one.
No, but how'd you feel when you first saw that?
It was a very first one that got my attention. Like all the other robots, oh, cool, But this was, again, it was, if you review it, it was whipping things around. So it was like you had Fay Ray in your mouth and you were whipping her around, trying to tear her apart limb from limb.
John, how'd you feel? Because you were shooting that robot on the Steadicam.
Oh, it was cool.
Oh, you were Steadicam.
Yeah, he was on that.
Yeah, that was, because there was only one way to shoot that scene, and it was over and above.
That shot where you went over and then came back.
Yeah, it's just kind of the whole, you got the whole world and a feel for where you guys were in relation to this thing slinging around, all kind of stuff. Besides that, behind us, there are forklifts, robot forklifts moving pallets, so the thing will sneak up on you and you don't even realize it's back there, and it stops, and well, it's pretty crazy.
Sorry, did I just mess you up with that?
That's okay.
Sorry.
Editor's making hits on the mic.
Don't understand what the sound is.
All right, go.
What were you guys doing? Holy
You're a girl who got hypnotized, so now you're running around really freaked out.
I mean, get out.
It's like Blair Witch.
It's like a bad trip. What is she doing?
And now look at the camera.
It's interpreting acting.
Am I still scared? Is there any other direction you'd like me to go?
Go very close to her face and like.
Oh my God.
I've got no words.
What happened was,
Everybody did acid?
Well, no. So Icky rented a smoke machine and a strobe light, but we didn't use them. But they put us in an Airbnb in Boston that was like, we all thought we were gonna get killed in. It was not good.
Like an Amityville Horror?
Yeah, it was super scary. Icky was like, let's shoot a horror film. Because he's like, well, we never used the strobe light and smoke machine.
Where's Rena? Was that a line item on the fucking budget?
And Paige was super into it.
Paige directed.
Christina Brummett also was pretty fired up.
She loved it.
And John, you were the axe murderer, it looked like?
I played the axe murderer, and I'm still waiting to get a call back for the voiceover for the trailer.
How do you feel when you see stuff like that?
I'm pissed.
For real?
No.
Okay.
Now I know why the crew doesn't want me staying at the places they stay. Because this is the debauchery that goes on after hours.
That house was haunted.
It was?
Well,
You guys were talking about doors opening by
There was
themselves?
stuff upstairs happening while we were all downstairs. We had Pandora playing, and when this one song came on, the running started. And we would stop the song, the running would stop. We sent a PA up there to check it out because we thought maybe one of us was up there. Didn't happen while he was. As soon as he got back, we started the song again and the running, and then the song finished and never heard it again.
I would have played that all night long.
Oh, right?
Yeah. So that's wrap up of Roundtable Season 2, which is robots, and we've covered the world. We covered Germany, Dublin, Miami, Boston, well, most of the world. But just showing you the dialogue and conversations going around surgical robotics, healthcare robotics, but probably more importantly, the people, the culture, and the places. So I am sure you've had a thrill going through this as we have. Stay tuned for season 3 coming up, where we're going a startup nation to Israel and showing you the badasses where 8 million people are changing the world in all kinds of ways. See ya.